today's notes for last night's game, Canes, woof, again. It's back-to-back nights, and it's completely different, right? It's a concern when you can lose games every way. It's the inverse of one of the most positive things you can say about a team, right? The most positive things you can say about a team, and this goes for just about any sport, is they can beat you in a bunch of different ways. Right? If you're playing a baseball team, they can win a pitcher's duel or a home run derby. That means their roster is well balanced and controlled. If you're in a basketball game and they can beat you 47-45 like they're UVA, or they can beat you like they're the Prime Warriors 112-110, that means they have a wide array of ability on their roster. You look at the Canes, they can lose getting lit up, could be 5-0 seemingly before the drop of a hat. Or they can lose like they did last night, being up 2-0 seemingly at the drop of a hat and finding a way to lose it in the end.
Yeah.
Getting as close as maybe tying it up 3-3, but never mind. Interference. Wind it back. That's a sign of a roster that isn't clicking on multiple levels. That's a sign of it not just being one thing. Right? If you're just giving up a bunch of goals, but you have a bunch of talent in your defense, guess what? You're thinking it's a goalie problem. This is more than just a goalie problem. They kind of played prevent. Here's Rod Brind'Amour on the team sitting back after they got their lead.
We weren't very good. I mean, we came out okay, which I expected after the other night, and then we just sat back, and, didn't generate anything. So really, we're, I think, fortunate to be up 2-0, and then, took a little breather on the, in the time when you should be slamming the door on the power play, and we're not, and then give up shorty. So tough game.
Sitting back, it's the whole conversation between, and by the way, they were back-to-back nights, which just makes it so much more drastic by comparison. But if you go back to Thursday or Wednesday night's game, right? You get your tails kicked a lot of bit. You're thinking you're going to be so mad going into Thursday night's game, right? You're going to have all this anger that you want to take out on the opponent, and instead you get a 2-goal lead and you sit back. That's to use the the thing from Fantastic Four, right? That's clobbering time. That's clobbering time. You get up 2-0, all right, 3-0. You get up 3-0, all right, 12-0. Take out some of your frustration. Don't sit back. And then here's where it gets really interesting. There's some call-outs post-game. Seems like it's time to stop messing around for the leadership structure with the Carolina Hurricanes. Rod Brind'Amour, not everyone's pulling their weight, and he told us post-game.
That's just not good enough. We got a lot of guys that aren't pulling the weight. It's plain and simple. So you can read into it what you want, but we're not going to win if we don't have the 20 guys going. We have some guys working hard every night, contributing, doing what they do, but there's a lot of others that need to look in the mirror.
Guys not pulling their weight. Let me ask you this, and actually, Dennis, as a former coach, you might have. Is that cryptic enough? Is it vague enough? Does everybody know who he's talking about? And should he name names? I understand that was 9 questions, but do your best to answer a couple of them.
If you don't know who he's talking about, it's probably you.
That's perfect.
That's the thing.
That's perfect. If you're not like, I finally got on that guy.
Yeah.
then it's you.
Yeah, it's probably you. And honestly,
that's perfect.
I mean, the fact that you have your head coach, and then I know we hear from Stefan Nason here in a sec. You have multiple people say guys aren't pulling their weight. You think that's not going to get back to the players? I guarantee you, if he's saying it to the media, he's probably saying 10 times more inside that locker room to guys. As he should be.
Yeah, but
sometimes you got to put it on public blast.
I was just going to say, it's different when it's into a microphone.
Yes.
It's more courteous when it's private, right? It's more polite. It's you can blow it off easier when it's in private. When it's in public, it's more aggressive. It's more intentional, and quite frankly, it's more drastic, right? It's an interesting move by Rod Brind'Amour. right? Because you're right. There is that moment where you try to diagnose who it is as a player. Who's coach talking about? And if there's not an obvious answer, then it's 1 in 3 people, if you look to your left and your right and you don't see it, it's you. You know what I mean? Like it makes you think of yourself. You brought up Stefan Nason and some of his post-game comments. We have a clip from Nason as well. Here it is.
What do you think has been the biggest difficulty in terms of building that consistency?
Yeah, I mean, you said it right there, consistency. We have some guys doing it the way we want to do it, some guys that aren't, and we're figuring it out, and we're going to work on this as a team, and the only way we're going to get out of it is together.
Do you know what's harrowing about all this? That it's gotten to this point with the Canes. The Canes culture thrives on, their system thrives on everyone knowing their job and doing their job and selling out, right? Their style of play is not easy, right? It's you can't get through it. You can't be successful with it if some guys are going. I mean, I'm not even talking about like if they're going half stepping. Like if you're going 90%, it doesn't work. You need 100% for their system to work. And you would think that with all of the veterans and all of the guys that have been there for the rise, right, that have been there and watched this thing grow, if someone wasn't pulling their weight, you'd think the culture is one that would identify it, call it out, get it fixed quickly. Like I would imagine this is if someone on the Canes were not pulling their weight. They weren't bought into their role. They whatever it is. They didn't buy into the system. They're upsetting the apple cart. There'd be like 5 guys waiting at their locker after the whatever was the most recent practice where it kind of reared its ugly head. And they'd just be, hey, keep getting ready. We just want to talk to you. We just want to talk to you. Now take your skates off. Yeah, hang out. We just want to talk to you. It'd be like a Scorsese movie scene, right? Where it's like, should I be worried? No. Yes, you should. It'd be like I genuinely think that's the way their culture is run because so many people care so much. So the fact that it's gotten this far means that meeting didn't happen, or it happened and it wasn't put into effect, right? They did the conversation. They said this is how we do things, and this is all the ways you're not doing things the way we want to, and it didn't stick. It didn't take effect. That's the concern right there. Now, yes, if they make a big move for a goalie like we've been talking about, will they prevent a few more goals? You'd like to think so, right? That's kind of A to B thinking, right? If you take a goal, you get an improvement, you'll prevent a couple more goals. That's great, but if there are people, and he said guys, by the way, it's not guy. If there are multiple players in that locker room not pulling their weight and the kind of self-correcting system of that locker room didn't kick in and fix it automatically, that's something that needs to be looked into further. That's something that Rod, that Stahl as a captain, that the leadership needs to take into account immediately and get it fixed immediately. Like yesterday probably would have been a week ago would have been better than now. But you're here, you can't change the past, so you got to make it happen.
So basically, you need Stahl to be like Robert De Niro from Goodfellas, just stand there like at the bar smoking the cigarette, just staring down whomever.
Yeah, that'll work. I mean, Robert De Niro in any host of movies.
Yeah.
Or Robert De Niro in Meet the Parents. How about that
there
one?
You go.
I know it's not a Scorsese movie, but a little, I'm watching you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching you. Jinxie Cat.